A lot of my research over the past 20 years has focused on what we'll call platforms. Initially, I looked at technology-based platforms, such as the Windows operating system or even the personal computer, or later on the internet or even a smartphone. But increasingly, I've come to the conclusion that the ideas around platform strategy can be applied to other kinds of networks, let's say. We can look at Walmart as a kind of a network, or Amazon creates a kind of a network that can be used for selling different products and services. So one of the ideas I pitched to the U.S. Postal Service was to start thinking of themselves not simply as a mechanism to deliver mail, which has been a losing proposition for the last 10 or 15 years or so, as the world has switched to email and other means of electronic communications. But to look at their infrastructure of offices as a platform for delivering a variety of products and services, some related to mail and some not related to mail. And the critical difference between a platform strategy and a product strategy in other businesses is to generate what we call network effects, or increasing returns, where the platform becomes more valuable as more people or complementers, that is, creators of related products and services, adopt the platform as their own. And this positive feedback effect that goes on usually leads to the platforms or the platform owners becoming more valuable and possibly winning an entire market over time. The Postal Service is, in my view, not really been leveraging their potential to sell different products or services and capture mail-related traffic as well as other traffic. So we had some meetings in Washington and elsewhere here at MIT, and really tried to explore those ideas pretty thoroughly. And hopefully the Post Office will adopt some of them. They've also been working independently on some of these ideas as well. So a very simple idea for the Post Office as a platform is just to use their physical infrastructure to partner with other companies to sell different services. And this is done routinely around the world. If you go to Japan, for example, or many other countries in Europe or Asia, your local post office is also your bank. You have savings accounts, checking accounts, certificates of deposit, money transfers, and you can do things like money transfers at post offices in the U.S., but they don't have partnerships with banks, or they don't have a banking mechanism. So that's just one simple thing. If you go to, again, Japan, you'll find there are other networks of companies, particularly 7-Eleven, and they become the local delivery recipient for various goods that companies would send to people's homes. When they're not at home, they would deliver it to 7-Eleven, for example. Post offices can do that kind of thing. And those are mail unrelated services, but there's other kinds of services. For example, we have a lot of formal documents in this country, documents that cannot be simply circulated electronically. At some point they have to get onto paper. Many of them need to be notarized as well, but physically handed from one person to the next. This includes things like deeds, a lot of inspection reports, different kinds of licenses. There are also other very sensitive documents that different government departments or companies might have. Right now, to transfer those documents, we would often use, most people would use something like Federal Express. But it is possible for the post office to set up a registration system where they can handle secure documents, and they will possibly take them from electronic origins into actual paper. And the more people that register for that service, or the more government departments and agencies that register for that service, again, the more useful that kind of service becomes. The coverage becomes wider. So there's actually potential for network effects there. There's other ideas like registering for prescription drugs and actually delivering the prescriptions to a pharmacy and picking up the drugs and delivering them to the person that needs the prescription. This would be a service that could be delivered to elderly people, for example. Also requires some kind of registration system. So there's a bunch of those kinds of services. And if you look around the world, you see lots of ideas. You see mail trucks carrying air quality filters. You see postal service people doing things like helping elderly pay bills or take over metering functions for the local gas utility or electrical utility. They can also conduct the census, which is done periodically by governments. So there's a large number of services or products that the Postal Service can deliver as long as they keep their physical infrastructure. And one of the things I was worried about is that with all the efforts to reduce the deficit of the post office, they might actually, the Congress might step in and cut back the physical infrastructure of the post office to the point where it really is no longer very valuable as a platform for delivering these various products and services.